I don't know. I have this theory that most people when they get into bodybuilding and fitness, it just like even if you say you don't want to get too muscular, the further into it you get, you start getting more and more muscular and more ripped.
Yeah, I think that absolutely happens. And
Well, yeah,
I think it's because it's a game of just trying to keep up.
right.
It's a tough business, and it's tough to just come out on top because most people that are in it aren't making a lot of money. So you got to stand out some way. And then some people stand out just by trying to get absolutely enormous. And then,
Right.
I don't know, like how big can you get? Like my body wouldn't support that. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. But you had a transition. So similarly to what Zach was talking about, I mean, there was a phase where you were training and you felt like you were putting on a lot of muscle, correct? I mean, your training did change at one point. Can you talk about that phase and talk about that pivot that you made?
When I first started working out, it was all about just wanting to see like even a tricep muscle, it was just trying to lift heavy and put it on. And I mean, it's hard to believe when you see my butt back then and my legs. Like I had a huge butt and huge thighs. I mean, I was like a size 29 jean, which is pretty big. I mean, but my training, it kind of has evolved over the years, but a lot of it's because when I was traveling on the road with WWE, I never had the energy to do the type of like HIIT training that I do now. And I've just kind of gotten smaller and leaner from I mix it up. I do heavy lifting and I mix it in with HIIT workout, my own type of HIIT.
When did you decide that you wanted to pursue a career in the fitness space? Like, was it something that you were mulling over for a long time? And, how much effort did it take to build it?
Well, I've always had this love for fitness. And when I was anorexic and bulimic in high school and into college, I started gaining weight. And then really what got me out of that whole eating disorder yuckiness was admiring these women in the fitness magazines like Monica Brand and Amy Fadley. I would put their pictures up on my wall and on my refrigerator, and I would copy their diets that they would put in the magazines and their workouts. And I just really wanted to look like them. And then that kind of transitioned into me being like, you know what, I'm just going to set a goal for myself. So I said, there's nothing like, just signing up for a fitness competition 9 months away to force you, to go for it. And then my love for it never really died, but I think I burned myself out a little bit, and then I got into wrestling and I still trained a lot. I've always loved that. But I've always had this, kind of burning desire to help people, because I feel like there's so much about it that's mental.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you guys see the guy that has never lifted in his life, and all of a sudden he starts lifting. You can just see him walking taller and, feeling more confident. And to me, that's more what it's about than anything else.
Right.
It starts there.
It's also a mood booster for me, and I know a lot of other people. But my wife had taken some time off, and yesterday she trained for the first time in a while and was just like noticeably in a better mood.
Torrie's in there pressing, and she's in there deadlifting, and she's in there doing things that foundationally make her really strong. And by now how to blend it and what to mix in and out. And it's as much for you as a feeling of continuing to feel like an athlete. That's very important for you, rather than just looking a certain way, correct?
100%. Yeah. And I think that the lifting heavy is so important. And I really try to stress that to the women over 40, because, a lot of women in general just think, as you guys know, that you're going to get like bulky and manly looking. And to me, that's like the fountain of youth. But I think there's a fine balance, and everybody has a different body. And, for me anyways, I know when I'm lifting heavy all the time, I do start I don't feel as feminine. So I have to mix it in with other type of workouts too. And if I'm feeling like I'm just way too jacked, then I just do more cardio.
We talked about this recently, Donna, like yesterday, about people often don't even eat enough. Like they're so focused on like trying to eat, clean and healthy, that they're just not even eating enough. So they're really undercutting the things that they want to do by not, I don't know. It's
No. I get what you're eating like. Go through a typical day.
I completely agree. I'm not super stringent. I have like, I'll be honest, I crave sugar in the morning. So I will definitely wake up, but I don't have a lot. So like this morning I woke up, I had visitors here and I had like these little butterscotch chips and like a little but I also have eggs. But it's just a little bit. I just need that, like, and I'm fine for the rest of the day. But like, you know, I had 2 eggs over easy on toast today. I don't do the egg whites anymore. I have carbs, good carbs, but I just believe it's everything in moderation. But that's what I found to work best for me. Years when I was wrestling, I was always on a diet, a no carb diet, a no this diet, and I was always tired. And I'm way leaner now than I've ever been.
Yeah. That's interesting. You know, and when you were wrestling and being on the road, that probably made a lot of things difficult, right? Just the training and eating, because you were always getting into places late, or sometimes these areas don't have variety or anywhere to eat. So were you glad to put that chapter behind you, or was it something that you missed?
Oh no, I'm glad to put that chapter. I'm glad I had the experience, but I was just always tired. You know, travel alone is exhausting.
Were there nights where just things started getting completely out of hand in the ring? Because the stuff that you were doing was, it was nuts. I mean, you're flipping off of ropes, and you know, you had to have this level of athleticism and resiliency. And you know, you're in the ring with a partner and you guys are going at it. Were there certain nights where you just like felt like the energy was at a high, or you guys were doing things that you've never actually done, or was like you kind of raised that bar? Are you following what I'm saying?
You know, I was there at a crazy time. It was like transitioning from the girl that's in her bikini all the time, which was, to be quite honest, I thought it was way more stressful than having a full-on match. And, you know, appealing to that sex appeal, and then also trying to show that we were athletes. So a lot of times I would be, you know, wrestling in next to nothing and trying to show that I was an athlete, but it was hard. And the crowd always played a huge part in it. The energy of the crowd makes you feel like you can literally do anything. I can't even tell you how many times, you know, I was never really trained at like a wrestling school. So I was always kind of learning as I went during the shows, during the days. And, you know, there were times that we wouldn't full out practice something, but we'd just be like, okay, we'll feel it out there. We'll be good out there.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want to hurt.
You know, over the past few years, WWE has you know, tried to change that perception even more, you know, changing the Divas title just to Superstars. And you see a lot of social media, a lot of the talent pushing for, the female talent pushing for equal pay and more money. Was that something that was discussed back then? Was it something that you ran into? Was there like, were you treated unfairly or differently? Just in the industry alone, or just, you know, at WWE?
Yeah, I don't really have like a negative feeling for the way that I was treated. That was just the way it was at that time.
Right.
And there definitely were times where I felt really uncomfortable and I hated that I was out there, you know, standing in my bikini and I would see kids, you know, but that was also the whole atmosphere. It was definitely frustrating when, you know, we would work really hard on a match and put together something awesome. And then we were usually like the first ones to have our time cut.
Yeah.
You know, but I still have a positive experience.
So when you decided to leave and begin a different career in fitness, how long did it take to build that? You already had the following, you know, you had a name, you had name recognition. But so what is the first thing you do? What's the first step? How do you put the plan together? I
had so many just head spinning, trying to figure out where to start. I had a business partner early on that built an amazing website, and we did all these awesome videos, really well put together, great videography, and we weren't making any money because there was no business aspect of it. It was like you're giving it away for free. And then, but it was a lot of learning experience. And I ended up deciding to part ways with him for that. And honestly, I was in a pinch. I had gotten myself in a really bad spot, and I was just starting to freak out. Like, what am I going to do? Like, I got to start making money and I got to do something. And I just felt like I was constantly feeling like I needed to either have an app Like I needed to have someone to help me do all this stuff, like an app developer and, and it can get overwhelming. And so a couple of years ago, I partnered up with someone to help me like sift through the emails. And they were like, you know what? You're just gonna, we're gonna just start off on IG, do some swipe ups, see if people want some training. And literally I did that for January for the new year and took on a limited amount of people and kept it very simple. There were no videos involved. It was just like a spreadsheet with a diet and a workout and based kind of on where they worked out, whether it was the home or the gym. And I started off that way and I was like, okay, this is how I'm going to build my credibility and get experience and all of that. And from there, I'll figure out the next step. But it wasn't until I finally said, okay, look, it's not going to be a $50 million project, that's going to be amazing right away. You just got to start.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Do you feel pressure to create content? Like, do you ever get to the point where you say, shit, I don't have any ideas. I got to do something. I need to put out something new, but I have nothing.
All the time. All the time. It's like a daily stress. And then sometimes I kind of go, like, I just got to get away from it all because it's how pathetic. If you're in that industry and you sit there and you can't think of one thing to post.
Yeah, but I think what the problem here is, it's like if you do public speaking and you're sitting there speaking about the same topic over and over. Like last year I went in, I gave 3 times I had to give the same presentation. And by the third time you're thinking, by the third time I got booed. By the third time you're thinking like, all right, man, I know this inside out, but it's not about you. It's about the people watching. And I think that's the problem with social media sometimes is that you'll put out you'll put out a video on the squat. Mm-hmm. Right. And you automatically think in your head, well, I've done the squat already. I'm like, yeah, but less than 1% of your followers saw that post.
Yeah.
And you have to keep reminding people over and over and over. And there's just different ways to gift wrap it. I don't want to say I gave up, but I think I relaxed in the sense of, a lot of times I'm putting up, like, there are probably 50 squat videos that I have up and 50 pressing videos, but they're always angled a little bit differently. And I'm trying to dial in on like a different teaching point or something different to think about or a different motivational grabber or something to where even someone who's watching it could turn around and say, all right, you know what? I actually seen this, but I got some different stuff out of it. And you do a really good job of that.
Well, you did help me out on that.
Oh, thank you.
Taking that advice. But it's kind of like sometimes like when you're creative, you just want to keep being creative in there,
Now I'm really excited to do something right now.
Yeah.
Tor. We are introducing you to the world of fun. The world of fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask you a couple questions, off the cuff questions. Nothing personal, nothing crazy.
So each color will correspond to a different category that Don has written down. We put a lot of thought into these.
A lot of thought into this. This is a high-end production here.
Oh, this is awesome.
Putting my old
and he's putting his spectacles on, his Magoo glasses.
I'm gonna embrace it. Ready, Tor? Why don't you spin first?
All right.
This is a big deal. Blue.
What's it mean?
We don't have blue?
Make it up.
I'm joking.
Just Paul, yeah.
Blue is pet peeves.
So, all right, yeah. Fire off. What are some things? It could be in the gym. It could just be in day-to-day life. It could be just around the house. What are some things that people do or that you encounter that are just irritate the shit out of you?
People that think the whole world revolves around. I can't stand it when you're in a crowded area and someone just stops where they are and like without consideration who's around.
Probably because they're staring at their phone and they stop. They do a hard stop and then you bang into them.
I did that yesterday.
Like, hey, you do that?
I did that yesterday. Some guy was so pissed too. He's like, I'm sitting there and I realized that. I was like, man, I'm being a total asshole right now. I'm walking down the street looking at my phone. I was probably emailing you.
And you bothered Torrie too while you were doing it.
Sorry,
so
Torrie.
you did at the same time.
Forgive me. All right, so pet peeve. Okay, so that's a very good pet peeve. Next one. Ready? Don't hit blue again. Purple. Okay, purple is pony up. What was your first big purchase when you received a nice little paycheck or you got a little bit of coin or something? Like, what did you go buy?
I bought a big screen TV. It was like $5,000 and the thing was so humongous.
Damn.
Just to give it away years later, it was like having people come in move it.
Was it like a real, like one of those
plasma.
old big ones that were like took like 4 people to pick up? It was like, yeah, I know that style of TV.
I actually had millwork in my first apartment built around one of those TVs that was legitimately like, if you put it here, it would go from here to the wall. And they built this closet around it. And I was like, it was hidden. I used to open it up like when I have people over for drinks, and I looked like so cool. And out of nowhere, you're like, wow, this is a piece of shit. Okay. Let's see if we hit it. Hit it.
Yeah, red.
I still think this is not a flawed system. I think this is fantastic. We're going to continue.
The world of fun.
Favorite cheat meal?
Well, French fries must be involved.
I love it.
Maybe cheeseburger, French fries.
What is your cheat meal?
I really do like, I don't like cheese, but hamburger and French fries are fantastic. Ice cream is fantastic. Really good pizza, Italian food, Chinese food, Mexican food. Should I keep going on?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's
no. Listen. I'm not going to be one of these guys who are like, no, I eat beautifully all the time. No, the hell with that. Like
when you have to. Yeah, but
yes, no. I mean, 99% of my week is great, but when I go to eat something, it's like I'm pumped.
Well, plus you've also built up that like
I deserve it.
Earlier. Yeah, you've also built up that ability to be able to take it in and then not have it be a huge effect on you.
Did you hear what I just said? I said I deserve it. I deserve.
I hate that. I hate saying something's a cheat meal.
Yeah.
Because I eat like that more than.
It's just moderation. It's knowing what your goals are. If someone's, Torrie, she's kind of an anomaly. I mean, but you are someone who can eat, you can dab and touch those things a little bit, but you never really go over. I feel like you never go overboard in that area though.
No, and then you kind of like even it out with like healthier stuff. I don't go crazy. So
your digital platform now, if someone wants to go purchase one of your programs, can you explain that to us a little bit? Like what are you exactly offering? And
so the Fitensity programs on fittensity.com are basically you take this test, whether you're a man or a woman, and we kind of get to the basis of 8. I have 8 different programs based on kind of what someone's goal is. And then I touch upon like mindset, having the mind of a champion, working out, not making excuses. I give an outline of like a diet that's not a diet, like the 40-30-30 kind of rule.
Yeah.
And I talk about some of my favorite foods and supplements, and then I give a breakdown of a month's worth of workouts. Some are home versions and gym versions. I'm trying to keep it so it's not like you have to do everything. I mean, the workouts are definitely laid out, but I don't say this is what you have to eat every day, because I'm trying to teach people to just trust themselves a little bit.
It's really moderation. I mean, if you could really cut back and, not go. I mean, the big problem that I used to have was when I would go eat, or I knew it was time to eat, I would completely overgorge myself. Yeah. I mean, God, even with booze when I was in college, I'm like, oh God, I haven't drank in 2 months. If I'm going to drink, we're going to put them back. And my whole mindset on that has completely changed. Like I used to have to, I'd eat like a gallon of ice cream if I was to sit and have ice cream and then feel like crap. And finally it got to the point where I was like, this isn't worth it. Like I'm enjoying something in the moment, but then I'm taking a day or two to actually feel better from this.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. And then I found when I started allowing myself here and there to have those things, but I wasn't doing it at a level that was like gluttony or like completely overgorging myself. My mind, first off, I feel like there was just a quality of life that improved, but my body did. It has been looking better, even going into 42 now, and I'm not, when I'm not eating like absolutely perfect every single day. Just having that flexibility, I think it does relax you a little bit, doesn't it, Torrie? It doesn't keep that stress on you.
Yeah, I just feel like, it's like anything when you can't have, as soon as someone says you can't have something, you want it. And
right.
Understanding that you can have something kind of makes you not want to have it as much.
Give us some information. Where can our viewers find you if they want to contact? And I suggest, I know the program that you put out. It's pretty damn good. Can you let us know where we can?
Yeah, so fittensity.com is where my program is at. And then, of course, my IG, Torrie Wilson, Twitter and Facebook, Torrie11.
Well, do you have any more questions?
No.
Okay. This is episode. Can we get a number on this? Like, what is it? What are we at?
4.
Are we almost
1,000.
Almost at 1,000. I think we're about getting close.
We're probably at like 50, 60.
I bet we're at 60.
Yeah.
Maybe 70. Yeah, it's going strong.
Yeah, we've gotten better. We used to be really shitty. Now we're just like
we're terrible.
Shitty.
Now we're like mediocre.
Yeah, now we're getting to the mediocre stage, which is nice.
All right. Well, this is Eraz.
This is
at Eraz.
At Don Saladino.
At Eraz. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at reps
at muscleandfitness.com.
Torrie Wilson, the lovely, the smart, the incredible. Very happy to have you on today. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, Torrie. Love you, hon. Talk to you. Send my best.